I do think we should discuss Kuzmenko and whether or not he's going to be headed for a back-to-back scratch would be another back-to-back scratch because
how do you put him in? Like, I get it. You kind of have to put him in, but how can you put him in?
Well, the
Does that make
argument to
sense?
put him back in the last time,
Yeah, I know.
the argument, well, hold on. The
No.
argument to put him back in last time, remember, was they were playing back-to-back. And they went into San Jose, and that was the second of a back-to-back, and you're kind of sitting there. And the Canucks weren't playing as well as they are right now.
No.
And it was like, well, put him back in there, maybe some fresh legs. And ultimately what happened was the Canucks lost to San Jose, which wasn't a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Keep Kuzmenko out. Was nice to see 12 forwards that all forechecked hard. Another question, do you think it's personal between Kuzmenko and Tocchet or strictly performance? I think it's strictly performance. It might be getting a little bit personal right now.
One mentioned he scored a goal and then he scratches him. I don't think he cares if he scores goals. Like he
wants him to do the
yeah.
right
It's
thing.
like great, you scored a goal, but you're not doing the other 90% of the game that I want you to do.
So does this
It's
make
very
him
difficult for a coach to come in and preach all these things and say, like, we have to do these. These are non-negotiables. This is the way we're going to play. This is our going to be our identity. We need structure. We need things that, like, the Vancouver Canucks play this way, and then to make an exception for someone.
So does this
very
make-
difficult to do that.
Does this make him like a trade chip moving forward? Given that if he's not in the lineup, $5.5 million
It kind
player.
of has to
I
be.
mean, absolutely.
I
I mean, the Canucks
I doubt they're happy about the way it's unfolded because his trade value is
Well, it's
nowhere
Freege
near
that
what
was
it
like
would've
people are
been.
calling about him, right? So I
Yeah,
mean,
well, Jim
Yeah.
Rutherford has admitted, like, we're not going to not answer the phone if someone's talking about Kuzmenko. The reports so far have been that other teams are calling on Kuzmenko.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that the Canucks are making calls out. And I think that does mean something, right? But you also wonder, how did those reporters get the information about teams calling on Kuzmenko? Could that have come from the Canucks to encourage a few more calls on Kuzmenko?
So the biggest issue that they've got right now in terms of trying to build them back up or, trying to get back to that 39 goal level is that, and Sat and Bick were talking about this on the postgame show yesterday, with the other guys that Tocchet sort of done the disciplinary thing with, or, broken out the whip, and he's like, we're going to break you down and we're going to build you back up. It was the two guys in particular I think that stand out are Höglander and Dakota Joshua, right? Those were the guys that kind of got the tough love treatment. But there was a way to bring them back, and that was to start them on the fourth line. You go from out of the lineup to in the fourth line, and then gradually, if you make your mark and you do the staples and you don't negotiate the non-negotiables, you get a chance to play more, move up the lineup. The problem with Kuzmenko is you can't put him in on the fourth line. You can't.
You could.
But you're not as good.
But you could if Suter's there. But if Suter's going to be up with Pettersson, I don't think it makes much sense.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're talking about bringing him out of the lineup for Lafferty, and then I look at it, I'm like, well, it makes the fourth line worse. If the fourth line's going to do what the fourth line's going to do, right? They were on the ice for a goal yesterday. They did everything they needed to do. They didn't get a ton of ice time, but if Kuzmenko's going to get back to $11 million, 39-goal guy, he's going to need to play top-line minutes, and he's going to need to be on the power play. He's going to need to play with guys where he can put the puck in the back of the net. That's where his value lies.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that Tocchet's not going to give that to him because he doesn't feel like he's earned it. He's doing the things that all the other guys on the team are doing.
And the power play, I don't think is that much better with him on it versus Hronek on it.
It's not like he's a huge difference maker on it.
Yeah.
Right? He's a good power play option, but they have other ones. He's like, we can use this guy. We can use that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a real conundrum from a managerial perspective because right now, like, Tocchet is fine. They're winning games. The team's fine. They're winning games. And if Kuzmenko's not happy about it, no one's going to find out anyway because he's stuck in the press box. Unless he goes the agent route and starts openly complaining through his representation, which is a possibility because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but his agent is rather vocal and rather active on social media. So there's always something that could happen. I mean, this is the same Dan Milstein that orchestrated Zadorov's trade to Vancouver.
Well,
right?
Milstein isn't going to do anything that's going to affect his relationship with the Canucks, though. He isn't. He isn't going to pull an Alan Walsh. He isn't. I guarantee it.
Well, his
He's
allegiances lie with his clients, not the club.
Yeah,
Well-
he's got a pretty good allegiance with
Yeah,
the club too.
That may have changed slightly.
Yeah, like he's got to get. The
He
thing
hasn't
is,
been
like,
named assistant general manager yet. Okay,
He's
it's
got to
still
get
time.
He's got to get the Zadorov deal done with the Canucks, and that's a pretty big commission for him, I imagine. So, I think he's. You know what? Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch to see how he does that.